all on my lane, you all on my lane. You ain't overlooked, so get out the way. I gave you the book, I gave you the game. The boy gotta cook, the boy got a flame, Serving in the kitchen like you Nino. Plenty pitching, whipping different flavors like a bistro. Kick it, dip it, flip it, keep it hunting like a C-note. Switching, keep it pimping every single place that he go. I got it. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Boy, you know the name, get up out the way. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Stay up out the kitchen if you ain't the one that's whipping, huh? Hey, yo, Lathan, man, cook them boys up something real quick, man.
What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Now today we got our amazing braised short rib video, our red wine braised short ribs. So the first step you want to do is cut that additional fat off those short ribs if your short ribs look like mine. Usually I don't have to do this step, but the butcher that I got these short ribs from, my first time going there, and they left an enormous amount of fat on these short ribs. Like, if I would have braised these things with all that fat on there, my jus would have been so fatty at the end. So I just went ahead and trimmed all that excess fat. You don't need all that fat because the short ribs are full of fat. So go ahead and get rid of that excess fat, and then we'll start working on our Mirepoix. If you don't know about Mirepoix pretty much is celery, carrots, and onions, 50, 25, 25. So I went ahead and got my onions chopped up. Now for this step, you don't have to worry about knife cuts, because we're going to braise all this stuff down and we're going to discard it at the end. So we just got these vegetables here strictly for flavor. So you see me going with my rustic cuts, and not really, I didn't even trim the outside of the carrots because we're just going to extract from this. So you see me got the Mirepoix together, and then I'm throwing in some garlic as well. You can omit that, keep that, but garlic short ribs, fantastic. Next step, we're going to go ahead with our salt. Make sure you season every corner or every nook and cranny of those short ribs. They need salt. So after the salt, we're going to I let mine set for a little while just to draw some of that moisture, and then I went ahead and got my Dutch oven together, and I threw in some canola oil. Now use an oil with a high smoke point: canola, grapeseed, avocado. You can even use vegetable oil as well, but don't use olive oil or butter. You want some with a high smoke point because you want to sear these beauties off and get an amazing color on her, because that's going to be your first step to gaining flavor to these short ribs. So you see how mine seared off. They all look beautiful. Make sure you get every side of them. You ain't really got to worry about the bone side too much because you're going to discard that at the end. But then I got my Mirepoix going in right after I pulled the short ribs out, and I'm just gonna sweat them down. So make sure you omit the garlic first, like put the garlic to the side and then add the Mirepoix in there. Going with a little salt just to dry some of the moisture, and then we'll add the tomato paste in. We're gonna cook that tomato paste out because we don't want that raw tomato flavor in this dish. We want everything to just exist together beautifully. So we're gonna cook that tomato paste out. Just get that, put your face in that vapor, get a whiff of that vapor. It's amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and throw our garlic in, and then we also gonna throw in our bouquet garni, which is just thyme. You can add other herbs, but I just felt like thyme was the only herb I want to add to these. And then I went on in with a bottle of red wine. You don't have to get the expensive stuff. That's actually a cheap bottle of red wine. I think I got it on sale for $6.99. But I went on in with that whole bottle, and I kind of reduced it just a little bit because I wanted to get a start on that reduction, also develop flavors with that wine. And then I went in with some of my homemade beef broth. I should link a video for how I make my stocks. I got a chicken stock video, but I don't have a beef stock video. So when I run low, I'll just make a video for y'all to see how I do it. But then I let that go, and then I also reduced it a little while before I added the short ribs in there. And then once it got to the point where I felt like it was good enough, I went ahead and added the shorties. Sometimes you cook short ribs and you add them to a shallow pan, but I'm cooking them in my Dutch oven, and I got a ton of shorties, so I'm gonna stick them all in there. I know it's gonna look like I'm boiling them, but I'm not. Trust me, because all that liquid you see when we stick it in the oven, and I got my oven going on roast confection mode. When we stick it in that oven, they're gonna pretty much, that liquid gonna pretty much evaporate. So it's gonna concentrate it on its own. So you don't have to worry about it being so much liquid. So I rolled it in the oven at 300 degrees for about 2.5 hours until they was fork tender. But you don't want them falling apart, but you want them fork tender. And I usually cook my short ribs the day before because I pull them out and then I chill them. And I also chill my liquid and let when you chill the liquid, all the fat rises to the top, kind of like what you see right there. And you can just take the fat off instead of just trying to skim and leaving fat in there. So I want to discard all that fat. So I just chill my liquid and then pull it out the next day and just take the fat off the top. And then I'm going in to a saucepan and I'm adding that liquid to it, and I'm gonna reduce that liquid because I want that liquid to kind of be my glaze. And once it gets to a certain point, I'm gonna add the shorties in there that I'm serving for that day, and I'm just basting them. You don't have to. I mean, they submerged in that beautiful glaze there, and that's a red wine glaze that's gonna be fantastic for these short ribs. So once they get to this point, we'll go ahead and plate them up. And I'm plating them up with my buttermilk potatoes. I got that with my seared salmon video. I'll link it down below so you can see how I made those potatoes. Then we're going on with the shorties, and then we're going on with that glaze. Oh my goodness, check that out. This video was a ton of fun making. It's simple. If you ever get to the part where you kind of like scared to approach short ribs, check out this video. It's an easy recipe, man. Tell me how you guys liked it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Red wine braised short ribs for the win. I'll catch you guys later. I'm out.